All right, so I got another collection here that I picked up. Actually, it's two lots from the same person, and I want to kind of tell you what my thought process was going through this. This one was kind of a gamble. This one, honestly, it could be really bad or it could be okay. So I don't think it's gonna be great, but I think it could be bad or okay. But basically, what we have here is I have two different lots I picked up. So this seller had a few different Magic card lots listed. And I noticed they're a sports card seller. Obviously, right there, there's a name of sports cards. So I looked through their listings, their listed products, their sold products to try to figure out what the history was with the seller. Basically, what I realized was this is a sports card seller and they're selling some Magic cards. So I'm like, you know what? Looking through it, a couple lots of cards. They have some singles listed. They do. I generally don't buy lots from people that are selling singles because they probably pick the best stuff out. But what I noticed is that this seller has a few singles listed, but not many sold. So here's my thought process. This one right here is called value cards. So not much in this, as you can see. As you see, a snow-covered swamp from MH1, maybe worth like $1 or something like that. So maybe there's a couple little things in there. The only reason I bought this little lot is because it kind of went along with this other bigger lots. Now, I paid a total of $206.15 for both of these lots shipped, okay? So this is the one I really want. I really wanted the one that was the 1,500 cards, a quote, reseller's deal, quote, unquote. So my thought was that this is a sports card seller. They're listing some singles, but they're not really selling. And so my guess is they said, you know what, this isn't worth my time. I'm just going to list the rest of this on eBay and just have it go away and whatever. That's my thought process for this. I could be totally wrong. This could be a totally staged collection and I'm about to get hosed really bad. But there's only one way to find out. So I saw this one, like I said, there's a Baral Chief of Compliance you can see there. So a little hit right there. There's rares. A lot of sleeve stuff. So my guess is it's stuff taken from like decks taken apart. So I'm guessing I'm probably not going to find any 10, 20, 30, $50 hits in here. Probably not. But I think I'm going to find a lot of small stuff, a lot of like $2 to $5 things that are maybe like sellable, buy listable, whatever. And so the price, I figure it's worth it. Like I said, when I grabbed this one, I went back to the other listing in this quote value lot. I was the only bidder. I said, if I'm getting this, I might as well get this one too and see what's in there altogether. So let's see if I get something out of it or I get. All right, so here it is. So we're going to jump right into this. Basically, this is those two lots. This is the small. It's funny because they both came from the same seller, but they came in separate packages. So my guess is that they did them, boxed them up, got them ready to go, and they just didn't bother to combine shipping at the end of it, which is fine. It doesn't really matter to me. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my mana box to TCG player market price, and I'm going to ignore everything under $1. So basically, when you see something scanned, if it's not $1 or more, it won't actually add to the total. You'll see the price, but it won't actually add to the total. But we're gonna jump in. I want to see the small one first. I ripped the label off to kind of open it up. But yeah, so my guess is like they pre-packaged them and then just shipped them out to whatever. All right, I hate seeing loose cards like this in the box, but I like seeing a great furnace because that's actually a few dollar card. And this is the value lot, like I said. Okay, and there's actually okay. Let's see what we get. Now, this one, again, I paid about $50 for this part, and I'm not expecting much out of here. If I get my money back on this little tiny lot, I'll actually be happy. So let's see what happens. Temple of False God. Counterspell, 6th edition. Yeah, 246. Not that version, though. Probably a million different counterspells. Classic 6. There it is right there. So $1.83. Sure, I'll take that. Book here. Biden of Thassa. Sure. Was that OG Theros? 37 cents. That's not that version. So many of these have been reprinted so many times in Commander's sets. Probably lost a lot of their value. 47 cents. So that's officially a bulk card now. The Pike. Enchanter's Pike. Innistrad. Nothing there. Ral, is it from Guilds of Ravnica? 46 cents. Yeah, bulk stuff. Mission Briefing. Pretty sure that's bulk too. Bulk. Astral Cornucopia. Reprinted in Brothers War. Oh, that's not that version. No, this is the Born of the Gods one. Born of the Gods. Yeah, $1.01, so it counts. We'll count towards the total. Crusher from Darksteel. Is that a good uncommon? It is. Not the Plane Chase version, though. 250. I mean, honestly, already I'm happy with that little bit. Mana Severance from Tempest. I'm not sure if that's 311. Okay, yeah, sure, we'll take that. So again, I'm guessing like broken down decks. It was kind of weird how they had several different. So basically, they had. Let me get back on camera here. Star Compass, OG art right there, very cool. Not really anything. So what's funny is like I said, they had listings. They had single listings, nothing there. And what made me want to get it was they actually had a sold listing of all their bulk. Okay, and so it was like 6,000 bulk or something like that. And that's what kind of got me interested because I said, well, if they already sold their bulk, that's stuff they've gone through. So I think this is the other stuff they quite hadn't either gone to yet, or like maybe it was small, so didn't feel like pricing out and taking the time with. Commander 14 for this one, not that one. So that's why I'm kind of hopeful with it. Like, you know, I kind of $4, sure. I kind of have to play detective with this stuff, and I was curious to see how it's going to end up if I were actually Walker Visions. Yeah, $1.27. Again, this is market price. Mirror Commander 17. I'll check it just because. Yeah, $1.92. Sure, very nice. Foundry Inspectors, Sculptors, Mindstones, Silver Mirror, maybe. Nah, reprinted. Voyager Staff. Nothing. Plague Mirror. Oh, Talleyrand. Talleyrand. Card's not worth anything, but it sells immediately because it's a good card. Dustin of Perfection. Nothing. And the Desolate Lighthouse from Ultimate Masters. 12 cents. So nothing really there. Not the exact right sets, as I say, because on every single one, I'm not going to change the set and all that, but we have a general idea of what it's worth. But yeah, they had, what actually convinced me to buy this was the fact that they had sold like 6,000 bulk or something like that. So I said, okay, that must be all the really, really picked through terrible stuff. And this was probably just the small stuff. They didn't want to sell $2, $3, $4 cards individually. So that was my thought process. New Scrap Mob, pretty sure that's bulk. Yeah, that's nothing. From one of the floorboards. Nothing there. Dark Salvation. So it could be a bunch of bulk. Whereas again, it's called a value box. So I'll be curious to see if there's much in here. If I tell you, if that market price gets up to $50, which is about what I paid, I'll actually be content with this so I get some of my money back. Sword of Vengeance, Commander 17. Not that version. I'm curious though. So I'm not always going to change the version just because to save some time, but I'm curious enough. Fumigate, that's a bulk. White Sun Zenith, I'm pretty sure that's a bulk too. Yeah, bulk stuff there. Divine Reckoning. 64 cents, small stuff. Some of this might be buy listable, but who knows. Little commons there. Let's see, we got the Worm. Nothing. Hunt Caller. Nothing. Wanderer's Twig from Lauren. I feel like that's buy listable. Maybe not. I thought it was. Iron Mirror, no. Travis Imminent, no. Pillar of Origins from Ixalan, maybe. Probably reprinted. 50 cents. Commander Masters. Just curious. Ixalan, 35 cents. So nothing really. Ornithopters, Mannequins, Wings, Rebuild. I'll check it. It takes a second anyways, right? Yeah, not really. Prismatic Lens. Snow-covered Swamp, so the MH1. So that in the picture. Little guy right there. Yeah, 61 cents. Nothing really. Vivid Crag. These are good usable lands. They're cheap, but they're usable. Nothing there. Rogue's Passage. That's at least buy listable. Throw in the buy list pile. Let's see. I have my Elders, Forest, Mindstones. Yeah, this is definitely broken down decks for sure. Ghost Quarter. I don't think that's pullable, is it? Maybe. Bounty Agents, that's bulk. Odric's bulk. And the Despot. Yeah, pretty much bulk right there. Okay. But I'm hoping that, especially this next one, is going to have a lot of, again, pickable things. You hope it's just at least pickable. Rakdos Charm. Yeah, $1.18. That's that not version. I'm curious to Return to Ravnica. Return to Ravnica. 70 cents, so even lower. Okay. Nothing. Like, I don't expect to see like shock lands and things like that in here. Just, it's going to be a bunch of small things. Roach Passes, I'll pull those again. I think they're buy listable. Rakdos Signet, that's playable. Pull it. I'm not going to scan it though. Horus Lord. 50 cents. Nothing really there. Anger, Ultimate Masters. $1.39. That's the AFR one though. And again, too, if they're a sports card seller, my thought, too, is especially if there happens to be maybe old cards, they won't know the rarity. Or they maybe only look for rares of value. They weren't looking at uncommons. It's possible you can see a lot of that stuff in here. So given what I've seen already, I think that might be the case. Because if there are some cards with even a couple of bucks, anyone would have picked it out and sold it. Yeah, $1.11 for that. And so my guess is they probably didn't know what they were looking for. Homelands card. Yeah, it's worth $1. Raptor. Nothing. Sun's Avatar. Nothing. The Field. Nothing. Nothing. Foundry, Idol. Phyrexian Furnace from Weatherlight. Yeah, 479. So my guess is, sure, if there's any old cards in here, and these, what I'm guessing from the picture, look like decks. So probably someone's collection. They probably didn't know about like the rarity symbols for the old sets, that there weren't colors. So they probably just assumed they were common. So maybe I can get lucky and find some actually good old cards in here. It's possible. Snow Covered Mountain, MH1, full art. I always like these from MH1. Tatiova, Snow Covered Forest. Yeah, 80 cents. Again, probably buy listable. Snow Covered Plains. Nice. Another one of the mountains. Okay. Snow Covered Island. Sweet. Yeah, $1.17 for that. So I mean, already my market's about half what I paid. So I'm content with this, because I figured this box would be worth nothing, honestly. It was just kind of like, well, oh, see, there we go. Urza's Bobble, very nice. Awesome. No, not that version. This is the Ice Age. Yeah, 551. Awesome. Remap Tetsuo Shredders. So that's what I'm hoping for, is that this was just a Signets. I pull those just because. And so I think this may confirm what I was thinking already. I mean, we're just getting started, but already seen some old cards, which is good. And pickables that are decent. Decent. And this is the most likely the cheap lot. Bulk. Still Hellcat bulk. That's bulk. That's bulk. Yeah, Semblance Anvil. I'm pretty sure that's bulk too. That's not the OG Scars version. This is the. Oh no, it is. Yeah, this is the OG Scars version. Okay, it's a buck. Paradoxical Outcome. Nothing really there. Spying Statuary. No. Weatherlight. Maybe. Yeah, buck. Different version. That's okay. Antiquities War. No. Only Sandbar from Onslaught. Planar Cleansing. Bulk. Shepherd's Bulk. Charger from Commander. The Offering. Yeah, okay, whatever. 72 cents. The Ancient. 20. Verdant Embrace. Old Time Spiral. Nothing. Daredevil's Bulk. Foil. Grixis Panorama from, is that Shards? Which one is it? Shards? I think it's Shards. Shards, yeah. Foil being $1.15. Yeah, so that's grabbable. Brass's Bounty from Ixalan. Nothing really there. Rock Robber. Nothing. Navigator. Marchesa the Black Rose. Commander 17. Not the Double Masters version. 2017. Yeah, just shy of a buck. Tom-Tom's Bulk. That's bulk. Victimize. That might be worth a little something. Yeah, not really. Empty the Pits. Okay. Foil. Liliana's Reaver. It's not that one. What is that? M. No. Stop scanning it. That guy. Oh, you know what? I want everyone's opinion on something, because actually I had I had a couple people comments. Do you guys prefer when I do these with the music or without the music? I'm actually curious. It's whatever, you know. If you guys prefer something, let me know. I'd like to know. Price Amalgam Bulk, Horde, Crusher. I just figured I'd put that there for a little background noise, but if you guys don't want that, let me know. I don't really care either way. I just figured it would be a cool thing to have, but if you don't like it, let me know. Yeah, it was just a thought, because I saw someone had commented that. Let's see. Selection. Nothing. Decree of Pain. Salvation. Angel of Invention. Mythic. Okay. Martial Coup. Night Bright Flame. Spires, maybe? I think this is just a bunch of bulk rares, honestly. Hey, Spellbook from Exodus. That's cool. $1.71, nice. Chalice. Jarvis Familiar. That was a pull at one point, but it's probably been printed so many times. Double Masters. This is OG Dominaria. Yeah, it's a buck. Elixir of Immortality. 69 cents. Sea of Synod. OG Mirrodin. Not that version. The original one. The better one. The good one. Yeah, just about a buck. Library of Lang revised. Yeah. Uncommon, but that's what you kind of see in a collection like this. It's just not totally picked through, so. Yeah, $1.41, sure. Chromatic Spheres. Fellwar Stone. 5th edition. Yep. Couple bucks there. That'll work. Signets. I'll pull them. Sure. Light Legion. War. Spear of Heliod. Yeah, just about $1, give or take. Legion War Boss, Mind Sensor, Avengers, Boros Reckoner, Guild Mage's Forum. Okay. One more little stack, and this box will be done. Already market value for things $1 and up is $41.32. So that's, again, that's great so far, considering I figured this would be a total waste. This part I figured would be a waste of $50. But hey, you know what? I want to get it all together. I want to know. Let's see. Captain of the Watch, Legion's Initiative, Mythic from Dragonspace. No, it's bulk. That's a different set. That's okay. Clarion, Fumigates, Zombies, Wanderers, Dragons. Life Crush Bestiary, Max the Candelabra. That's pretty much bulk, right? Yeah. And there's Forerunners, Hammer. Again, $1. Yep. The Charger. It's a dragon. It's a dragon. It's a dragon. Let's try this guy. Nope. Still Hellkite. Nope. Hate Steed. Nope. Borborygmos? Nah, not really. A Tally. Printed a bunch of times, but good card. Not that version. Baloth. Terastodon. Spell Collector. Nope. And the Apocalypse Hydra. Okay. Bunch of bulk rares, which is expected. I kind of like doing it this way where if I do it market price and I don't count things that are under $1, it's nice to kind of see that doesn't add to that total. So it's only actually the pullable, real pullable things. Lapse of Certainty. I'm just curious. Well, yeah, 25 cents, sure. The Monk, Innistrad. Angel. Sphere. Commander 14. So clearly this collection came from a Commander player. Forerunners. Nothing there. Nothing. Captain Stratasith. Not really. War Boss. Oracles. Blackblade Reforge. Giselle. Oh, this has been reprinted so many times. Treat the Angels. Modern Masters. No. Another Tally. That was like definitely damaged. And Domri, the Chaos Bringer from Ravnica Allegiance for the Mythic Planeswalker. Nothing really there. So, okay, you know what? For $44 for that kind of bulkish one, I figured I was going to lose out on that one, but that's actually not bad. I'll actually take that, to be honest with you. All right, so that gets through the small lots. And now let's jump into the bigger one. So, again, this is the bigger lot that costs you basically like $150. And I think this is going to be pretty decent, honestly. It's a pretty full box. I mean, it's pretty heavy. I think it should be about 1,500 cards or so. Basically, again, I think leftover stuff from a sort of pick collection. So let's see. Oh, Jesus. You know. Okay, so don't pack like this. Don't pack like this. I know they think it's good because it's all in stacks. It gets thrown around. Don't pack like this. All right, let's see what happens. I hate seeing this. Oh, I hate seeing this. Let's just dive into it, see what happens. Okay. This is a couple of reasons this is not a good sign. Is one, it shows that they don't really care about how it shows up. But two, it just might be because it's low value stuff and they really don't care. Adaptive Automaton, but it's all, it looks like sleeve stuff. So I'm guessing maybe some stuff from decks. $2, not the double masters. This is the core one. That one. Yeah, $1.56. Sure, we'll take it. Goreclaw, that was reprinted. That was good before it was reprinted. Keen Sense, the OG. That's actually a good little hit right there. $2. Not the Time Spiral. This is the original one. Planar Chaos. There we go. $3.68. Very nice. Tokens. Evolving Wilds. Germinator. Yeah, nothing there. Yeah, definitely some decks. Definitely some collections that were taken apart for sure. Scoundrels, Golem Tokens, Storm Tamer, Deckhand, no. Life's Finale, New Phyrexia. $1.59, sure. Keyrune, Carnarium. I hate when things are messed up like this. Cover of Darkness from Onslaught. $13.01. Really? Okay. We'll call that the big hit so far. Okay, so maybe I was right about this, that they just didn't feel like going through it anymore. Hellrider. That's great. Again, I only paid about $200 for this, so not a crazy amount, but enough where, you know, it might take a little bit of time and some decent cards to get my money back. Star of Extinction. We've printed a bunch of times in Commander decks, right? Yeah, nothing really there. Chain Whirler. Nothing. Maybe buy listable again, but Signets, I pull those. So definitely some, okay, War of the Spark. Oracle of Bones. Nothing there. Death of Automaton again. Yeah, a couple bucks. Not the right version, but it's give or take that. Xenographed, New Phyrexia. That $13 hit was great. I didn't expect that at all. Let's see. Dispersal. Temple, nope. Disarm. Changeling Outcast, MH1. That should be a pullable common. Yeah. Not that one. Yeah, 97 cents, just about a buck. Won't count towards the total, but that's buy listable for sure. Hostage Taker, probably nothing. Nope. Brainstorm, 5th edition. That's cool. Not Cold Snap. I'm surprised I can't recognize quickly the white bordered and black border. 134. Counterspell, 7th edition. Very beat up. That's a cool art right there. Buck something, yeah. The Preserver. Oath of the Gatewatch Mythic. Not much, 70 cents, but probably buy listable. Sage of Fables. Why do I think that's a pullable? Yeah, 70 cents market, so probably buy listable. Okay. Oh, I hate when people ship cards like this. It just shows that, just like, who cares? Get it out of here. Okay. See a couple of good hits right there already, so this might work out okay. All right, Krenko. Everyone's favorite Commander of the Hate right there. Not that version, but, you know, close enough again. Siege Game Commander. Again, I don't want to take up too much time changing all the sets all the time because it can take a while. Domri Raid. Is that Modern Masters? Not that one, but again, sometimes I'm just curious. Yeah, not quite a buck. Like I said, I doubt I'll see some heavy-hitting lands. Those are probably taken out and sold individually, I'm guessing. But you never know. Like I said, if we can find a $113 card, we can probably find some more. So let's pull those. Probably find some more, I should say. Pitiless Plunder. Yeah, not that Commander version. Rivals. $3. Yeah, so my guess is, again, it was so I think I'm right. I think it was a sports card seller. They probably looked at rares. They probably looked at mythics. That's a sweet sleeve right there, actually. Gilded Lotus. OG Dominaria. Yeah. Not that version. Dominaria. Yeah, buck. Sure. Buy listable, playable. It's fine. Temporal Sundering from Dominaria. Buck. Assassin tokens. One thing I got to do is start checking Unclaimed Territory. That was a good pullable, but it's probably been printed again. Yeah. Checking. I know there's valuable tokens. I just never take the time to look, to be honest with you. So usually when I sell my bulk, if they're into tokens, they can probably find some good stuff in there. And a germ token. Custom-made germ token. That's pretty cool, actually. All right. $76.93 for the $1 above market. That's actually not bad. And we're just starting. All right, so we're just gonna start grabbing stacks. We got here Marchesa, the Black Rose again. Buck, different version, but again, that's okay. Black Blade Reforged. The Force Mage. The Foremost. Weatherlight, OG Dominaria for your Mythic. Buck. Domri. 85 cents. Thran Temporal Gateway. Very cool. Alternate, is that the Wanderer? The Wanderer, yeah, I thought so. Very cool alternate art from War of the Spark. Day of Destiny. Bulk. Smoot. Buck, sure. Spirit Binder. Nothing. Sangermancer, nothing. Tori Mahler, could be worth a buck or two, right? Not anymore. We printed a bunch of times. Teller of Hero, Plane Chase. Nothing really. Foil from War of the Spark, Aid the Fallen. Let's check it. Why not? Nah, 44 cents. Really nothing there. Vivian. Love War of the Spark. That's what they got me back into Magic. So, Galta. Probably nothing. Printed a bunch of times, right? Yeah. Overwhelming Stampede. Dustborn version, but still okay. Again, prices about that, give or take. Not a buck for that. Terracodon, no. Stampede, yeah, we'll get another one of those. Why not? Let's see. Vivictus, the mythic. Buck. Not that one. That one. Not that one. Not that. No. What are you doing? Yeah, it was the first one. Okay. Squeak, Galvin the Bob, Ultimate Masters. Bulk. Baloth. Buck. Gear Hulk. Nothing. Yiva. Butcher Malkar. Should be nothing there. Voice Finale again. Yep. Let's do it that way. Nice couple of those. We'll take those. Fallen Shinobi. That was a good hitting card before it was like reprinted. Still worth $1. River of Tears. That's cool. It's a pre-release. Pre-release by Nathassa. Nice. It's like a 12-year-old pre-release. Oh, I caught it too for $1. Wow, that's low. Ceratops. Buck. Behemoth. Yeah, nothing there. Bestiary. There's a foil. Is that from Cons or Dragons? I always forget. Yeah, it's a foil. It's worth $1. So, Mending of Dominaria. That's nothing. Vivian Reed. Nothing. The selection. That's nothing. Phyrexian Debaser. Nah, bunch of bulk stuff. Troll. Death's Presence. Okay. Adding a few more bucks to the total. Again, the total only goes up if the card's worth $1 or more. So I really like doing it that way. It's just better that way. Ruinous Blast, OG Dom. A lot of OG Dominaria, War of the Spark, a lot of that 2018, 2019 era. Eviction, Aether Revolt coming up. Rishkar. Guild Pact kits. Curious about these tokens. Nah. Tokens. Holy tokens, Batman. Bird token. Goblins. Spirits. Highlands. That's all bulk. Sage. Nothing. Garrison. Bounce lands. Wonder. Oops. Put it in the wrong pile. Wonder. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Wonder's worth $1. Reliquary Tower. We'll always take those. It's worth a couple bucks a piece, yeah. Again, I'll say it 1,000 times. I know it's scanning the wrong version, but that's okay. It's just getting an idea of where the price is. Okay, well, we're over the $100 mark, so that's nice. I'm basically halfway there. And still got a lot to go. I love these sleeves. So yeah, this is definitely a bunch of just decks from a collection, most likely. So let's see. Time Wipe, no. Niv Mizzet, Mythic from War of the Spark. Bulk. Vala's bulk, Mangara's bulk. Druidic Vow? Bulk. Oath of Nissa. Pretty sure that's nothing. Yeah, nothing. Selvala, that's a cool one. Conspiracy. Not worth nothing, though. Rakdos Return. Nothing. Shaman. Bulk. Neheb. Hezret from Amonkhet. Nothing there, really. The Visitor. No, nothing. Come on. I gotta like tape this piece of paper down so it'll slide it everywhere. Torgar, that's nothing. Here's Podium. Verdenson's Avatar. Nah, not really. Forerunners, Thousand Eye, that's nothing. That's bulk there. Decimate, we'll check it. Nothing. Storm Surge. Close to $1. The Alpha. Okay. Wizard's Lightning, the Mage. Hero's Blade. Manolith. Sanctums. Baird. That, I feel like that was a pullable uncommon at one point. It was probably reprinted and not worth anything anymore. No. Stickcore Plains. Yeah, I'll pull those out for sure. Not going to add the total, but they are buy listable for sure. Ashiok, again, 86 cents, but definitely buy listable. Snow Cover, we'll take those. Narset, good uncommons. Buck, sure. Citadel, Shrines, Brawlers, Captains, Rogue's Passage. Yep, those are definitely pullables. And another Reliquary Tower, nice. So if again, if this is Commander decks, I'm sure I'll see a bunch of like Reliquary Towers, simple Commander staples, things like that. Okay. And we keep rolling on. Next stack. Again, I'm not expecting anything monster, like crazy good hits. That one $13 card was a nice surprise. Those are little bonuses if I can get them. Lord of Extinction, Mythic from Ultimate Masters. Nothing. Foil, Status and Statue. Not the Clue version. Guilds of Ravnica. Foil, nothing. 44 cents. Casualties of War, that's bulk. More of War, pretty sure that's bulk. Yeah. Sunwing. Ferocidon. A lot of bulk rares in here. I don't know how you call this a reseller's lot. So it's like, there are some little things, but that's what I figure it would be, is a bunch of really, really small stuff. That, again, could add up. Even if I could just buy this to get my money back, I'd be actually very happy with that. Fumigates, Chameleon Colossus. 76 cents, yeah. Pack Leader, is that a good pullable uncommon or no? Nah. 6 Slime. Rhythm of the Wild. There's a pullable uncommon. Yeah, not that one, though. Not the Kamigawa. Original Ravnica Allegiance. Yeah, $3.39 for market. That'll work. Arbor Elf. No, I don't think so. Key Runes. Valleys. Shamans. Aggressions. Okay. Little by little, the total goes up towards what I paid. Let's see. We keep going. Good thing is there's a good volume of cards here, so if I can get little things here and there, it might keep adding up. Brawn. Should be a pullable uncommon. No, not anymore. Signets, yeah, I'll pull them. Tokens, tokens, tokens. Golem tokens. Out of curiosity. Just curiosity. Emblems? Nah. I bet you there are some that are good. I just never really look up tokens and emblems and things like that, but this one I'll check. Really? $11 emblem. Okay, I guess that's why you check that stuff. Sure. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, the second highest card in this collection is an emblem. Oh, God. That's funny. Yeah, why not, though? That's how it works sometimes. Baral? Hey, I saw that one in the picture. So what's funny is, $1.64. So what's funny is they didn't ship it in the box they showed it. They just packaged up this thing. I would rather they shipped it in the other thing. It would have been a little neater, more protected. Firemind's Research. Nothing. For instance, Avatar. Pretty sure we scanned one of these already. Nothing. Yep. I think we scanned one of these already, didn't we? Yeah, about $1 or so. Foil Rampaging Brostodon. 19, that's not that one. Probably worth nothing, but just for the heck of it, I'm curious. Yeah, okay. Wait, is that like a... I'm sure there's a promo or something. Anyways. Zatalpa, no. This was just reprinted in Commander decks. No. Nothing there. What we got here? Aspiring Hero, $2. Yeah, we'll take that. Nahiri. Nothing. Gideon. We got to bring back Gideon. Here we go. Still going. Nothing there. Let's see. Okay. Nothing. I'm not going to look that up right there. What we got? Bone Horde, that's bulk, and Hero's Blade. Nothing. Okay. Slowly, the total creeps up. 124.60. So I think my total was like 206. So again, if I see that market for anything over $1, I'll take it. I will. Cleansing Nova. Cleansing Nova. Monster Bridge. Buy listable. Nope. Angel of Invention. Kaladesh. Nope. Bulk. Yeah, I think this is a stretch to call this a reseller's lot. I would say that's a stretch to call this a reseller's lot. Is that? Foil. Oh, no, this one has no foil version. Okay. Gift pack, maybe? Oh, that's what it is. $1.44. Gift pack. Okay. Spirit Bonds. I don't think that's anything. Nope. Sunwing. Angels. Field Marshal. I don't think so. I'm going to check. Yeah, buck. Okay, sure. Sapling Beast. Burst. 190. Abomination. Nothing really there. Second Harvest, nothing. Tashar, nope. Shamanic Revelation, old foil. It's kind of cool. Let's see if the foil has any premium. Yeah, $1.25, sure. So again, it's buy listable. Leap. Scatter the Seeds. There's a Modern Masters 15. Foil. Yeah, 15. Foil. Yeah, nothing. 37 cents. Butcher's nothing. Thillight Hermit's nothing. Taker's nothing. Nothing. I don't think that's pullable. Nah. Carry Zev. Nothing. Captivating Crew. Another one of these Life's Finale. I think we had several of these already, right? That's the total. Good. Captain Lantern Storm. Direfleet Ravager. I don't think that's anything for a mythic. No, not really. Fury. Exelon. So yeah, let's see a lot of 90. I'm sorry, a lot of 2018, 19, 17, 18, 19. That kind of era. Before collector packs, which is nice. So any foils I find anymore, they're do have a little bit of value, which is good. Jace, Ixalan. Nothing. Flagships. Yeah, my guess is they probably just got sick of all the small stuff. They're like, nah, forget this. Ugin or the Spark. Man, I reprinted. Yeah, see, these used to be good pulls in. But not anymore. Just everything gets reprinted in Commanders. It kind of sucks. Okay. Keep going. Still a lot to go. Soul Phyrexia. I'll check them, I guess, right? Might as well. Wave, no. Psy, no. Chief Engineer. Saheeli. Mythic. Yeah, sure. Take it for $1. Thraxos, Metalwork Colossus. I don't think that's anything. Nah. Diver. Good thing is there's a lot of rares, but like it's just obviously just bulk rares. Anthem, no. Let's see what we got. Dreadhorde Arcanist for the War of the Spark rare. Yeah, okay, worth a little bit. Yuriko, man, remember this is a $20 card. Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers. $2 card still, that'll work. Add to the total. Tokens. Okay. 138, we're getting there. If I can see 206, mark it, I'll be happy. But Jay, it's not, you're not gonna be able to sell it for 206. I know that. I'm just saying, it'll make me happy. It doesn't have to be a huge moneymaker to have fun with it. So that's what I'm doing. All right. Rolling on. Mind Stones, Pyromancers, Mages, 8, Reliquary Towers. There we go. Depths, Mages, Lands, Key Runes, Negates, Ops. Yeah, I saw like in their shop, they were selling some singles, and it wasn't anything crazy, but like, maybe some, $10, $15, $20 singles, things like that. I don't think that banner it's anything as a common. But I said, you know what? Nothing's really selling. And if it were me, and I'm a Magic seller, if I had a bunch of sports cards, I'd probably try at first to do it. But honestly, I'd probably get sick of doing it pretty quick because I don't really have like a passion for it. And I don't really care for sports cards. So I'm sure very quickly I'll probably be like, all right, I'm done with this. Clifftop Retreat. Man, this thing it's amazing how much this has dropped. All the reprints it's got. Wow. This is a straight up pre-con land now. OG Dominaria version. Yeah, it's not even worth $1. That's crazy. Once things go into like pre-con, start getting printed pre-cons, they just like forget it. Okay, there we go. Had a little technical difficulties for a second, but still going here. All right, Geese and Giralf. Nothing really there. All right, sorry. Ayula. Yeah, middle of recording, all of a sudden my tablet decided to do something stupid. I'm not sure why. Crank up. Yeah, sure, Buck, we'll take it. Gore Claws, nothing. Admiral Beckett Brass. Nothing really there. The Heb, no. And this foil guy right here, out of curiosity, is nothing. Okay. So, that's that little stack. We'll keep moving on. All right, what else we got here? Something there. Eternal. A lot of tokens. A lot of tokens. Figure I'll check the emblems, but not all the tokens. Cat Warrior. So Precon decks right here. Okay. Nothing. Dual Caster Mage. That's nothing. That's a bulk. No. Okay, it's not anymore. Commander 14. This was always a bulk, I thought, because it's been printed 1,000 times. $1.57. Sure, I'll take it. Why not? Tokens, tokens, tokens. Okay. Still not convinced I would call this a reseller's lot. I think that's a, I think that's a little bit of a misleading title, don't you think? Angel of Grace. I mean, sure, everything is technically resellable, but Forebear's Blade. I guess it's a matter of opinion. Crash of Rhino Beetles. Never Miss the Firemind, maybe. It's a dragon. A lot of different sleeves, though, so clearly a lot of decks. Luna's Mastery, no. Army of the Damned, OG Innistrad. No, not really. Necromancer. Zombie Apocalypse. This is always a cool card. I always like that one. Buck, sure, we'll take it. Lich. Buck there. Yeah, we'll take that. The Reaver, I think that's nothing, right? Yeah, that's nothing. Gale, nothing. No. Siege. The Graves. Twilight's Call. No, not really. Johnny, probably not. There were some, it's funny because there were some decent hits, but all of a sudden there's like, there's a lot of bulk. That's the tough part. And did I know it was picked? Yeah, I knew it was picked a little bit, but I figured there'd be enough in here to justify it. And there almost is, but we're still got a lot to go through. Fellar Sovereign. Yeah, $2, sure. Don't think so. Prowling Serpapod. Should be a little one. Yeah, $1 something. Lion. No. Pouncer. Regal Carousel. No. $1 for that one, sure. Tiger. Nothing. A Johnny. Nothing really there. This has got to be a face commander, right? Yeah, that's the face commander, $1.52. So that's kind of cool seeing those, though. Mosswort Bridge, that's nothing. Cub. Spear again. Did that? I keep forgetting from card to card. Yeah, that's nothing. Those used to be like the Bidnathastas, the Spear Healers. It used to be like little bilistables. But again, once they're reprinted in commander decks, that basically washes away all value of them. Because they make 1 million copies. Menagerie, nothing. Finale of Eternity, that used to be a decent hit in War of the Spark. Not anymore. Spider, no. Revival. Whisper Silk Cloak. Yeah, there you go. Nice common. That's a pullable. Yeah, not 10th edition, though. Dark Steel. The original. Yeah, a couple bucks. Sure. Onslaught uncommon. I'll check it just for S's and G's. Curse. Sometimes some of the curses are good. I forget which ones. Yeah, a couple bucks right there. Different version, but that's okay. Vengeful Dead. Scourge. Not quite buy listable. Well, probably buy listable. 87-cent market. It's probably a buy listable one, but not counting towards the $1 up. All right. Probably about halfway through, if I had to guess. Teamer Sabretooth? Yeah, that was, right? Yeah, 3 something. Good. Swords of Plowshares. Always take those. Yep. Awesome. $3 for those. First Rebirth. No. Fungal Plots, Wilds, Marshes. No. Thalid Devour. I'm just curious. Fallen Empires card. Nah. Not much in Fallen Empires. But there are some cool playables, that's for sure. Thalids. Goblin King. That's an old rare. beat up, but guess what? That's perfect to go in like an old school deck I'm going to build or something. I mean, I've already got some, but now I can build some more. Rogue's Passage, those are pullables. Let's see. Sure, Goblin War Strike, common from Scourge. Yeah, I thought so. $1.24. Chance from the Forge. Nothing really. Our Stronghold, that old Ice Age one. I feel like that's 9. I feel like that's an old reserve list card. I think it might be, actually. So yeah, it's stuff like that that if people are not in this world, they're not going to know what to look for, and so they're probably not going to know that's a rare. They're not going to spend the time with it. You know, they probably went through, checked some of the rares, and maybe just took things at a certain value and took them. Key to the City. Ghoul Tree? Nah. To Frights. Mage Scatters, Drakes, Waves. Guardians cancels ops. Nothing there. I tell you, this person has some really cool sleeves, though. I'll give him that. Skin Renders, Stitcher Supplier. That was a great, like, $5-6 pull from 19 were printed, yeah. That was a good, like, $5-6 M19 uncommon. One of the few pullable uncommons in that set. Core 19, I liked the set, but it was terrible in value. And ever since they started reprinting some of the cards, it really wrecked them. But Core 19 was a fun one. It was funny because they had some uncommons that were worth more than most of the rares. It was a very low value set, but still a cool one. Accord, Hunting, Crusaders, Falcons, Rogue's Passage, I'll pull. Chance, Elements. Buried Alive, yeah, you'll reprint from Weatherlight. MH3. MH3 killed the value. Anthology 2? Yeah, it's $3, sure. World Shaper, Rivals of Exelon. Not that Commander version. Let's go with the Rivals. Yeah, $2.97. Ogre Grave Troll, that's nothing. Memory Folly. Signets, I pull them just because. Dakmar Salvage, I feel like that's a good uncommon pullable. Nope, guess not. Stitcher Supplier, I'll pull it. Not worth nothing, but I'll pull it. Poison Tip Arch, that was another one of those good uncommon, but it got reprinted in a Commander deck. I wish they would slow down with that a little bit with some of the reprints in Commander decks, because it really, really kills some of the set values, like really bad. Artisan of Kozilek? Nope. Rogue's Passage? Pull it. A Johnny Emblem, let's check it. Worth checking the emblems, not that one. Monument. Again, these are good. I'm pretty sure they were all reprinted again not too long ago. Snare, Primordial Sage. Nothing. Elf Bond. This person loved their Rogue's Passages. This is like their staple for them. You know what I haven't seen either is like Soul Rings. I wonder if they pulled all those out. Elemental Bond. Yeah, 246. I remember that because someone actually commented on one of my videos. Whoever did, thank you very much. Because I missed that in a collection earlier. See, I listen. I listen. Song of Freyalise, that was a pullable uncommon at one point. Not quite anymore. 10. Nothing really there. Tangle Worms. Okay. I listen. I see the comments. So I know I really do appreciate it when people say like, "Hey, you missed this card here," or whatever. If everyone you do, I really appreciate it because I do go back and look. And if you put a timestamp, I can pull it out. So I appreciate that. And plus, again, you know, everyone played at different times, so you're familiar with different cards, and so not everyone can be familiar with everything. And it's great when somebody goes, "Hey, you missed this one," because I probably wasn't even looking for it. To be honest with you, Jorah's Familiar, that should be a pullable. Yeah, Double Masters version is $146. We'll leave it. It's fine. Snow Covered Swamps won't add to the total, but definitely buy listable. More snow covers. Forests. Plains. More forests. Great. More plains. Sword of the Chosen Stronghold. I don't recognize that one. Reprinted. 51 cents, not really anything. Trilands, Callers, Mighty. And seeing things like, you see like key runes in decks, usually that's the sign of like a budget player too. Guess Grimoire. I feel like that's a pullable. Yeah, 375. Nice. Good, good, good. We'll take that. Changelings. Champions. Golden Bear, Portal Second Age. River Bear. Was it a bear deck? Was it Bear Force 1? Maybe. Okay. 198.28. So we're actually getting really close to the break even as far as market value goes. So that's good. Another card tower. 200. All right, we're almost there. We're almost at break even for market price. Connoisseur, Vidalcan Archmage, no. Charms. Kai's Ghost Form, that was a good pullable counter from War of the Spark. It still is, $1.16. Is that a pullable Archetype of Imagination? No, not really. Should return. Looks like that's Beast Within. Conspiracy, Take the Crown. Conspiracy, Take the Crown. Where are you? Commander, a million Commander decks. Conspiracy, Take the Crown. Yep. Buck and change, sure. Flashback Marauders, Anger, again, Ultimate Masters. Yep. We are getting really close to the break even for market price. I'm really happy with that. And you know what? Again, that's fine, especially with this one. This was not a collection I figured was going to be phenomenal, but I thought it would be fun to go through and see what's there. And yeah, there's definitely some smalls. So it's, like I said, that's worth it for me to see, at least. The Inquisitor, Worldwake, 1054. So okay, unless they like scanned this a while ago and it popped up recently, but how did they miss like a $10 card? Unless they, again, at some point they just gave up and they said screw this. 214.96 market price. We're officially above break even. I'm happy. Very cool. Buck there for that. Yeah, we're officially above buy price market. Awesome. Ninja of the Deep Hours. I thought that was a pullable. It was. This is the original version though. Betrayers. Yeah, Buck and change. Mind Stones. Temples. Signets. Yep, pull. Ninjas, lots of lands. This deck doesn't look like it's picked as much. It's like a Whisper Silk Cloak again. We'll take it. Nice. Rook's Passage. Like every single deck has these. That's crazy. It's a good card. I mean, it really is. It can sneakily win you a game or do some crazy shit really quick. Okay. 219.58. Let's keep going. Zuko. I always thought Transmute was a very underrated ability to be able to tutor up something. Yeah, $1.56. Refuge, Heralds, Slither Blade, can't be blocked. I think this is buy listable. It's definitely not. Lens, Familiar, Ghoul, Monuments, 350. Not the Aether Drift one. Amonkhet one. Yeah, still $3. Very nice. Wayfarer's Bauble, first off. Not worth nothing. Commander's Quarters is happy. Carrion Feeder. I feel like that's a pullable from Scourge. Yeah, it is. Okay. That's the Eternal Masters version. But again, close enough. Paradox Haze, very nice. $4. That's a good uncommon. Gary. Marauder. I like the old art. Not worth anything, though. Landscape Stroller. Skin Render. Okay. You know, it was funny, too, because I was contemplating when I bought this, because the seller still had, you know, several singles listed. I was almost gonna be like, hey, I'll give you a deal for the rest of the singles, but I didn't bother. Back to Warpride Future Sight. I just like the Future Sight borders, the old ones. Yeah, $1.31, so it's pullable. Key runes. Temples. Grasslands. Those are these old budget fetch lands. Not the Commander Master. This is the original one. These are old budget fetch lands. This makes sense. It's not really worth nothing. Signets. Whisper So Cloaks. Great. I know that's not the right version. That's okay. It's okay. This is an estimated value, not exactly going to be perfect. Miri. It's actually funny because I actually just pulled one of these Miri, this one from an Exodus pack on my channel like the other day. 260. Cool. Explore, Sanctuaries, Wilds, Lands, Prides. Johnny's Welcome. Yeah, that's a $2 pullable. Thought it was. Awesome. Let's see what else we got. So my stacks are getting low. But there's still a lot of cards left, so we'll keep going. Husk, Panoramas, Scrivener. Nothing. Folly Wilds, Emissaries. Maggot Carrier? It's a zombie. Not a good one. All right. Rogue Passage. Mind Stones. Borrow Signets. Sunhome. I feel like that might be a pullable. Nope, I'm wrong. Glories. Nothing. Borrow's Charms. Yeah, $4. I'm still surprised that's gone up so much, but I mean, I'll take it. All it takes is one reprint, and I think it's gonna go back down to 20 cents. Monument for $4. We'll take that, and another Reliquary Tower. That's like 6 in this collection, probably. Stinkweed End. Okay. All right. We roll on. Another Rogue's Passage. If anyone wants a bunch of Rogue's passages, hit me up. I got plenty. Buried Alive. Very cool. Odyssey version. Yep, not the MH3. Let's see if the Odyssey, the old ones are worth a little bit more. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, 260. Okay, there's a difference right there. Nice. Reavers, Vengeful Dead from Scourge. No, not really. 87 cents. Probably buy listable. Captains, Gravediggers. Look at that thing. That thing is off the card. That's almost off the card. That's a cool little misprint. I like that. I'll put that aside. Whenever I see cool misprints like that, I actually will like throw it in a misprint group. Like, hey, anyone interested? Because people do like that kind of. If it's off the edge of the card, you see the next card. That's when it's really worth more. But that's not quite there. Wilds, nothing. Okay. Well, let's see. Charms, Rejuvenators, Dwellers, Elks, Rapid Vigor. See, I think like these were at one point like, yeah, $1.22. They're still playables. So, you know, some things obviously over time keep getting powered out basically. Pitiless Plunderer, $4. Nice. But they're still hanging on with a little bit of value. Golgari Charms, Swarms, Migrations, Farseek. That's always a good common to pull. Now it's an uncommon. Farseek. Ravnica City of Guilds, the original one. Now it's like in every commander deck. And I think, what was it, Commander Masters, they made it uncommon. $1.05, so it adds to the total. Circuitous Route, is that the one I'm thinking of? Or is it Wilderness? I'm thinking of the Wilderness one. Ancients, Future Sight cards. Again, just love the arts, worth checking. That's the wrong one, but it's okay. Caterpillar, Song, Hearthstone, very nice, Stronghold. That's cool. Got the Sliver deck. No, not the Sliver deck, not the list one. I'll go with the cheap one. Poison Tip Archers, Swarms, Rituals. Okay. Let's see. A few more stacks, and just some miscellaneous thrown in stuff at the bottom. Bears, old Bears, Rapid Vigors again, yep. I'm sorry, a buck. Striped Bears, they had a bear deck, that's pretty cool. Spectral Bears from Homelands, I don't remember that card. Nothing. Werebear. Rose Monument. On my cap. Yep. Anywhere else? Grizzly Fate from Judgment. Why do I think that's okay? Don't know. Because it's not. Bears, bears, bears. Come on, summons. Especially if I don't recognize cards, it's worth taking a second to check. Yeah, Buck 83. I didn't recognize that one at all. Creeping Renaissance. Yeah, Buck. The words from Onslaughts. Yeah, 3. Sure, that'll work. Spheres. Snow Violence. Why is that in the middle of a bear deck? Don't know. But again, this isn't exactly a full collection. This is, I think, again, like some parts and pieces left over from sort of picking a collection. Like I said, my original thought was that that's what this was, and I think that's what it is. I guess they got tired at certain points and forget this. I don't want to do this anymore. And they just said, let's get rid of it, move on with our lives because we do sports cards. Blade. Impact Tremors. There's a good common. Yeah, not that version. Dragons of Tarkir. Buck 37. That was like a $3-4 card, so I think it was just reprinted. That was always a great pullable common for like $3 or something like that. Shenanigans from Lorwyn? I don't know. Yeah, 252, but not that version. Lorwyn. 618. Sure. Yep, I'll take that. Sandals, Hero's Blade, Goblin War Chief. I feel like that was a pullable. Kinda, not really. Diabolic Tutor. Those are usually good. Yep, Buck. Okay. All right. So we got here Herloon Shaman, good old Weather Light card. Nothing. Didgeridoo from Homelands. That's cool. Yeah, it's an reserve list card. $8. That's funny. Classic card. Rogue's Passage, of course, because there's a million here. Why is Didgeridoo in there? It's for Minotaurs. Tribal Unity? Onslaught Uncommon? I don't know. Nope. Beast Within? Yep, take those. Cool. Emblems? Why not? We'll take a look. Not a good emblem. Okay. Tokens. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Veterans. Buried Ruins. That's buy listable? Yeah, I thought so. Buck 91. Wrong set. I know. I get it. That's okay. Legion Loyalist. 491. Very nice hit there. Goblin Shuriken. That's a buy listable one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, kind of. 72 cents. The Mentor from Shadowmoor. Not that one. I think that's Shadowmoor. Yeah, it is Shadowmoor. I got it right. Yeah, $3. Veterans Armaments. Morningtide. Not sure. Nope. Let's see. Incinerator. Quest for the Goblin Lord. Kamigawa. Buck 61. That's a World Week version, but again, pretty close. Close enough. Voracious Dragon. It's a dragon. Not worth anything. Raid, Kite Sail. Goblin Bombardment from Tempest. Yeah, not that version. Not Commander Tempest. Yeah, a few bucks. That'll work. Bravado versus Saga Common. Nope. Veteran. Hymn, Ballads, Shrines. Boros Charm again, yeah. I know these are smalls, but this adds up really quick. And again, you know, for a lot of this, I'm just going to send off the card conduit and call it a day. Swords of Plowshares. And so that's one of those things too, where I think that, you know, maybe sellers like this, they don't realize that there are those services where you can just drop this, they can just send this box off to card conduit. They would have cut them a check and been fine. But you know, maybe it's easier again for them just to make a listing, run at auction, and say, hey, it goes for what it goes for. I do that sometimes too, honestly. Like I'll have lots. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna run an auction. I'll get what I get for it. It's fine. Because sometimes you might actually get more from it at like an auction than you would maybe a buy list. Maybe, you know, 1,000-Year Storm. Not that one. I'm curious if this is go over $1 or not. No, not it. It doesn't even. Brainstorm, 5th edition. Very cool. Not Cold Snap. 5th edition. Yep, over a buck. That's good. Mastery, no. Desecrated Tomb, no. Alchemist, I don't think so. It's okay. Clearly, this is a zombie deck. Army of the Damned. No. Creation. Life's Finale. That's like 5 of these we pulled. And again, they're all worth like a buck or so, and they're buy-listable. Zombie Apocalypse. So they have multiple zombie decks? Mimic. Stronghold Assassin from 7th edition. Sure. Buck something. Executioner. Oh, yeah, sure. Take all these little guys all day long. Plague Belchers. And this will probably be like the majority of this, like I said. We'll just probably go straight to Star Extinction. No. Probably straight to like a buy list. Stampede, that was a good one, right? Just to simplify it, because I'm not going to spend the time, just like this person didn't either, selling all these singles individually. And for me, I'm not going to either. Like I said, most things like $5 and under, I just buy list it. I just move on with my life. It is what it is. That's probably what I'll do with this. Meaning of Dominaria, no. Yiva, no. Warren Reef, no. Broncodon, I think we had one of those before, didn't we? It wasn't that one. I think it was like the... It was that one, yeah, okay. Jesus Sanctum. Okay. So Tarkir. Nope. Mouth to Feed. Nope. Mirror. Okay, sure, we'll take that. Is it that version? No, it's not that version. Battle for Zendikar. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Rampaging Balos. Is that Commander 13? Not that version. I think that's Commander 13, right? Arch Enemy, Commander Anthology. 13. Yeah, okay, still nothing. Soul of the Harvest. Little guy. Yep, buy listable though. Avatar, Thicket Elementals. Nope. Weatherlight, I'm sorry, Parhelion 2. Selfless Spirit, that was a buy listable at one point. Not quite anymore. Angel. Angel. And Teferi. Okay, buck, sure. Total now 328.45 for market. What I'm going to be curious too is when this is done, when I kind of change it over to like, market low, then buy lists, out of curiosity. Like I said, cost was 206. So I'm hoping, if the buy list even gets to there, I'm fine with that. That'd be great. Signets. Corpse Harvester from Legions. I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, $3. Plain Chase version, but that's okay. Signets. What we got here? Pure Blood, Obelisks, Zombies. No, nothing there. Angel of Jubilation. Is that 930? Does that say 931? Okay, we'll take that one. Nice, that'll work. Idea, those Rogue's Passage, Pillar of Origins, that was pullable. Not quite anymore. Rejuvenators, Islands, and Evolving Wilds. All right, we're getting down to nitty gritty here. There's a couple of stacks left. Just this. The funny part was like the bottom here is such a mess. Like they must have just thrown that first lot in there. Okay, let's see. Wilds. From there. Finale of Glory. All these Warless Spark cards used to be good. Clue version for $1. Whatever, I'll leave that as it is. So again, like I said, when I do this, it's to, the count is not exactly right, and that's not the point. It's just to get a good idea. Just to get a good idea. Pilgrim Secrets, Servants. Some of these foils I'll check, just because if it hasn't been printed foil before, it could have a nice premium. Rivals, 17 cents. The foil, yeah, see, foil $1.60 market, so definitely buy listable for a foil. Amonkhet foil open to Wonder. Not the Zendikar Rising version. This one foil being $1.81. Yeah, that'll work. Temple, Night Hollow, that's bulk. Make selection is both Carnes temporal centering. We had one of those earlier. Yeah, it's buy listable. Notion Thief. Not really. What do we got here? Vraska. Okay. Commander, is that the Commander face one? Yeah, nothing really there. Screech, Swords of Plowshares. That's the kind of stuff you find in all these collections. Is all these small playals, Swords of Plowshares, counter spells, Rid of the Wilds. Yeah, a few bucks a piece here. Shore Stalker? I don't think so. No. Fire, Punch. He's a bulk. Okay. $351.15. So again, that's the over $1 market price. Anything under $1 that I scan, it doesn't show in the total. But some of it definitely is going to be buy listable. So it's pretty nice that is like the low end of it. Trader, Carrion Feeder. That's a good pullable. Yep. Delver of Secrets. Yeah. Nope. Oh, you know what it is the retro foil one in Illustrator Remastered. That one popped up. Thief of Sanity's bulk. Seer, Naheb, Amonkhet Mythic. Not that one. Amonkhet Mythic. I'm sorry, Hour of Devastation Mythic. Buck and change. Archfiend of Ifnir. Yeah, it's worth a buck. Nothing. Signets. Watchers of the Dead. I don't even know that card. Nothing. Monument. Yeah, sure. Second Flesh. Snipe. Angel of Vitality. Again, that was a pullable uncommon. Not sure if it still is or not. Not really. Reprinted in Clue. Okay. Rampant Growths. I like them. I pull them because they're playable. Lure the Accursed was a good uncommon. I know it's been reprinted, so probably not anymore. Nope, not anymore. Star Compass. Okay. Let's see. I think we're just about almost done here. I think I got one more stack, and that's going to do it. All right. Yeah, let's finish this off. Again, terrible packaging, but honestly, the cards showed up fine. They showed up in good shape, but that was, yeah, I hate when people just throw stuff like that in there. It just makes a mess. So let's see what we got here. Last stack of the collection. In the close. That guy, Charms, no Arcanists. Temples, Forest, Diabolic Tutors. Yep, we'll take it for a buck. Growth from the Ashes, no. Hardened Scales, sure. Yeah, $2, not that one though. This is the original one, right? Cons or Dragons? I always get it wrong. Cons. $1.62. Yeah, that's dropped significantly. That's crazy. Oh, that's cool anime. From where the Japanese ones. Generous Gift. Not really buy listable. Reliquary Tower. That's like what? 5, 6, 10 of them, whatever it is. Ayula's Influence. Probably from that bear deck. Nothing there. Shepherd of Rot. Is that a pullable? It is. Not the Plane Chase one, though. This is the Onslaught. Onslaught is way less. Okay. Woodland Cemetery. Yep. Not worth much, but cool little lands right there. Lava Claw Reaches. Little guy. Nothing there, nothing there. This. Siren. This guy, Minotaurs, Terrific Expanse, Mountain, and all right, that's just about it right here. Fleshbag Marauder, and nothing in the close. So, all right, basically this collection is done. Market value $364.33. I paid $206, so I'm pretty happy with that. But let's take a quick look at the low and see where we kind of end up with this. Let's see. My settings. So if we go to TCG Player Low, let's see what it comes out as. 179.03, so already the low is below what I paid for it. So most likely probably going to lose out on this one. Let's go to
Card Kingdom for a buy list and see. Drop it all the way on the Card Kingdom for a buy list, so 109.45. So if I just ship all this out for, I paid 206. So if I just ship all this to a buy list, everything that was a buck or more market, the buy list, I'm going to lose like half my money. So with that being the case, I'm probably going to have to take a little bit of time to at least look through some of like the, some of the decent hits, maybe sell them like the Reliquary Towers in lots of 4 or something like that and make a little more money out of it. But either way, this was again costing my curiosity. I said, I bet you this person just got sick of this collection. They want to move it on, which kind of is what it is. There was still a lot of great playables in there. I mean, there's a million rares. A lot of it was bulk. But let me know what your thoughts are, because I had fun going through it. I was really curious to see how this was going to end up. Honestly, that first lot, that was like 50 bucks. I probably shouldn't have bought that one, but I said I want to have the whole thing together so I can really see what's going on. But either way, let me know what your thoughts are. Hey, I had fun going through it, and that's worth it for me.